Hello everyone, welcome to Artistically Married, where we explore the inner workings of our marriage driven by artistic expression. We're your hosts, Jake Ackerman.
And Brianne Steinberg.
All right, well today we're doing an episode on basically who we are really and our backstory.
Yeah.
We're coming off of Family Day and Valentine's Day.
Yep, same weekend. Yeah, they were like back to back. The Friday was the Valentine's Day and Family Day was Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we thought we would, do a little like backstory on us, kind of our love story, really. I think we're over 20 years now, right? 40.
Yeah,
I think I was 20 when we met.
Well, I was 19 and I'll be turning 39, so it's coming up on 20 years.
Yeah, it's our 20-year anniversary. Aww.
That we've known each other.
I guess we're gonna go to Peru for our anniversary.
Yeah.
Literally. We're going to be in Peru for our anniversary.
Yeah, and we're hoping to basically live there for a month.
Yeah.
Which will be...
Not basically.
Yeah.
We are living there for a month. Anyway, yeah, so we thought, we had Pietro Master Matteo last week on. He's going to be our kind of resident or go-to real estate guy.
And he's our uncle.
Yes. So yeah, I think because he had that he was the first guest. I mean, obviously Jeff knows us pretty good, but he was our first guest where he was like, referencing a bunch of like details on us. And I think that really, hit us, that we were like, oh, you know what, we haven't like really told our story, and that maybe would fill in some unknowns for you guys in terms of like where some of the interest comes from. Excuse me. So yeah, I don't know if you are following along with us on the podcast, or even some of those of you who know us, it does feel like we're all over the place, and we are really art advocates, but we have a lot of different interests, right? Our interests go in a lot of different directions.
Yeah, we are all over the place.
Yeah, we're truly all over the place. So yeah, I think this will kind of put pieces together and maybe just give you guys a little bit of intel into us and kind of how we started and how our love story started and how our family ended up evolving out of that with our two beautiful children, Phoenix and Annabelle.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking that before. We called it Artistically Married, and we don't always talk about art, and we really don't talk about our marriage that much. So maybe this will kind of give some insight into how it applies.
Yeah, where we started, where we were and where we're going, where we are and where we're going.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, cool. So let's get to it. I think our meeting story is really fun. I think somebody told this at our wedding, actually. And yeah, it gets even more crazier is that it's the identical same story as my parents. So yeah, I was in my first year university, or just coming off of high school. I think I even did it through high school. I was a lifeguard at our local municipality, our local pool, which just happened to be down the street from Jacob's house, his childhood house. So yeah, Jacob lived there with his 4 other younger brothers, and he would come home from work every day, and his mom would, kind of encourage him to take all 4 boys to the public pool. It was probably, at the time, the cheapest activity you could do.
Yeah.
For
not
a family
all
of 5 boys,
Usually the younger ones.
Yeah.
And yeah, I liked it. I
think it was all 5 of you.
I like coming home and having a swim after work.
Yeah,
and,
it was so hot, probably.
And yeah, my buddy Joel was a lifeguard there, so I would visit him, and we would, when he got off work, we would, do our 19-year-old shenanigans and listen to punk rock music.
I just have this vision of like you like marching down the hill of your street to go to the pool. Like it was like Dutch boy Russian dolls, just one after the other.
All the kids in.
Yeah. What's the total of years between you and your 4 brothers? So there's 5
years.
of you totally.
Cameron's 10 years younger than me.
Okay. So it was almost every 2 years.
Yeah.
Pretty much, give or take. Crazy. Yeah. So anyway, he would come down to the pool. Like he said, Jacob said, his friend Joel was also a lifeguard at the pool. Shout out to Joel Zeman. Good guy. So Jake would come and kind of visit him and bring his brothers. So yeah, even again, just to paint that picture, I think you had graduated from high school? Yeah, because I was like in my second year university.
Yeah, I was 19. I was, actually I was working with Pietro's company, Gatto Homes.
Right.
And that was my first kind of real job out of high school. So kind of when you start in construction, you start at the bottom, and I was just sweeping up houses after the trades came in. And eventually they kind of got me on the tools, and I would help them frame their houses because they were all very involved in the building processes of like their own houses.
Right.
So we would have like our work, which, you know, scheduled stuff. And then in all the cracks, we'd be building Keko's house or Pietro's house, and we would all show up there and we would, you know, frame together and stuff like that. So, and I think sometimes we were working on like the actual builds that they were doing too.
Cool.
But I just got more and more involved, and I really learned a lot from that job.
Yeah. Yeah, it was kind of like some of your early construction experience, right?
Yeah, early training, like it was, and they were part of their whole thing was their rentals, which Pietro was talking about that they all did together.
Right.
So there were a lot of crazy stories and things that happened with the rentals.
Yeah, Pietro was telling us last week, but like, oh God.
They were doing like student rentals and just regular ones. There was one that I walked into that wasn't like wasn't all that bad, but people would, you know, the tenants would leave, or they'd be done school, they'd be done their semester, and they would leave, and they would just leave a big mess in the place. And it was my job just to go there. We'd get a garbage bin or a trailer and just load everything in there and bring it to the dump.
You were the got junk guy.
Basically, yeah. We had to clean the place out for the next tenants.
Right.
And yeah, the one it just had there was this one room with nothing in it except for one chair and then a KFC bucket about 8 feet from the chair, just heaping in beer caps.
Wow, that's a pride thing. You're surprised they didn't take it with them. It's like, look how many beers we drank.
Well, no, it was one person. There was only one chair. And then the bucket was 8 feet away, so he must have just sat there, cracked the beer, tossed the cap into the KFC bucket. If they missed, they were kind of scattered around it.
Wow.
So I was like, that is weird. I don't know how long that's been there for. And
yeah, how many beers did that guy drink?
Yeah.
That's so weird. Well, yeah, student rental, right? I mean, go back to what you're doing when you're in school. But yeah, I think it's funny now because when we actually started to put this podcast together, I mean, I'm just a forward person in general. But it happens like that when you're in the trenches of kids and business, and you're at like, you know, we're in our 40s. I'm in my 40s now. But yeah, we're in the throes of it, right? We're in the hardworking times where you don't get a lot of time to like, I almost said retroflect. Yeah, you don't have time to reflect back, right? Why isn't retroflect a word? Like, it's perfect.
I don't know.
It means exactly what it says. I'm going to get it added to the dictionary.
It's just more syllables. Reflect is quicker.
Okay. Anyways, you don't get a lot of time to reflect back, but when we were putting this together, I was like, oh yeah, that's totally like, you know, going through, we're going to get to this, but like our stories, you know, how we got into our rental properties. Yeah, there was lots of times where I was just traumatized. I was like, I can't believe this. I can't believe the tenants left it like this. I can't believe they're doing this to the house. And you were like, desensitized because you had some of these like early experiences with rentals, right?
Oh, totally. There was one that was just absolutely life-changing for me. It was on Queen Street in St. Catharines, which is still kind of sort of a rough area. And even then it was the same, and like this place was, you know, they were renting it. I don't know, obviously they didn't know. Yeah. But it was just turned into a complete like crack house. So again, the people get evicted, and it's our job to clean it out. Right. And just that whole experience like really like changed my mind. I was like, I gotta make sure like I know what I'm doing with my life, and you know what I mean.
You didn't want to be the guy living in that house?
I did not want to end up like that. Like there was
Jacob.
Oh my gosh, stories on stories.
I don't think that's the reason why you wouldn't end up like that, for sure.
We found everything you could imagine, like needles and just
nobody wants to hear this
stuff. Well, but I guess
gross.
A crazy thing though,
I think a more realistic thought was like, I don't want to end up a landlord that has this situation in my house is probably more likely.
That too, and I know.
I don't think that you were ever at risk of turning into someone like that.
I bet you that's always like, well, no, you know, when you're a teen, I was only 18 years old. And so like, you know.
No.
Like, you know, that's
somebody who turns into that is, you know,
still
struggling usually at a young age.
I think it was good to see. Yeah.
I guess.
You know.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, yeah. So that was kind of the picture of what was going on with us. So yeah, and just to give you like a backside. So I was like, I was in university at this point. So I think I was already starting to like change into somebody who was a little more into music and art. And I guess if I had to label myself, I would say I was starting to be a hippie at that point. I was moving away from kind of my roots. But yeah, through high school, I was like a cheerleader. I've always been a dancer. So, you know, to be in that world, in that realm, especially in high school, I like traditionally was dating like jocks and athletes. Like they were mostly like hockey players or football players. So yeah, great story. I mean, this is literally our like meeting and first date story, right?
Yeah.
I think we hung out one lunch or something, but like this is like the next date. This is like our full on date story. So just to paint the picture, again, like I said, Jacob would bring all his brothers. He would come for a swim. He had just worked all day, so he had done like a 9 to 5, and then he probably just, you know, put on his swimsuit. And most of the time, you were coming in like a t-shirt and shorts and a towel over your shoulder, maybe not even a shirt, right?
It's construction. Obviously, we showered after work.
Yeah, but you could walk you could throw a stone to your house from where we were at the pool.
Yeah, very
from
close.
the Kinsman pool or from the municipal pool, like you could see your house almost, or vice versa. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was very close. And then, anyways, yeah. So he used to come. And I don't know if you guys remember this, but like in the, what was this, early 2000s, there was like this haircut where it was like an underbrush cut. So it was like I say it's the Devon Sawa. He was like a pretty like famous actor of our time. He was like one of the brothers in, maybe the oldest brother, or maybe middle brother in Home Improvement. But it would be like a really thin haircut and parted in the center and then kind of draped down over, and the sides would be shaved. So you'd shave the sides and then you'd let the hair kind of go to like your eye level, maybe like that, like kind of having like big bangs to the sides. Anyways, this was a really popular haircut for its time. And so, yeah, that was my thought. I was like, oh yeah, I mean, again, he was in a bathing suit, so you couldn't really tell like, you know, what his like clothing style was. And his hair was parted down the center and like over to the side, like in front of his face. So we'd hung out a few times at work with Joel and kind of mutual, just hanging out like before or after work. And then I kind of asked him out and invited him over to my parents' house. I was still living at home, going to university, to Black Creek. Yes. Do you want to describe your outfit for that day? Did you really think about it? Were you like, I'm going to impress this girl?
I don't know. That's just how I dressed at the time.
Did you know it was a date?
I think so.
Okay. So yeah, Jacob showed up on my doorstep. I opened the door to a studded leather jacket. I think he had made it himself. He like glued patches all over it and like,
yeah, they don't make those.
Probably attached the studs yourself.
Of course.
I think it was a lady's jacket because it was very short. Or he was just really tall and skinny, so he was trying to...
Definitely from Value Village.
He bought a small leather jacket, put studs and patches all over it, a black tank top or t-shirt underneath. The pants were like blue plaid on one side and yellow plaid on the other. They had been taken apart. Did you find like a pair of blue pants and a pair of yellow and sew them together?
No, those were later ones. I think I had different pants.
Oh, I remember this like it was yesterday.
They had zippers on them.
Zippers sewn on them. It looked like you like cut the pants in half and sewed one leg and the other leg together, and a foot tall mohawk off the top of his head. So what I thought was a Devon Sawa haircut actually was just a mohawk that hadn't been gelled straight up in the air at the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a little bit of a shock. I think, you know, luckily he was able to win me over with his amazing personality. Which I feel like going back 20 years was a lot more shy.
Oh, definitely.
A lot more quiet. A lot more nervous.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure you probably had the same kind of like.
Actually, I think we watched Monty Python.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was probably trying to impress you. I'm like, this guy's gonna think I'm cool if I watch Monty Python.
Totally, it worked.
Amazing. Yes. Yeah, so I think it was like definitely a different experience and like eye-opening for me because again, I had like hung around with all like jocks and like that was the world that I knew. And even like my dad, he's super into sports and all my family's into sports. So it was a really different experience to like start. And I think we always say this now, but like we kind of raised each other from that point on, right? We were able to learn from each other, maybe what was atypical.
Yeah, for sure.
Otherwise.
My parents were into like punk music when they were younger, like growing up in the early 80s. And so they kind of told me the stories about that, and I took an interest in it, and I ended up just loving punk music, and
right.
kind of even how I met my friends at the time was really random. They weren't people I went to school with. They was just like, hey, you look like I look, or whatever, and we end up hanging out.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a really big subculture at the time.
I just met Dustin like passing on a road one day, I think. And
you both had mohawks?
And he was like, hey, come to this party. And then I didn't go. But then like we met up later or something like that.
Then yeah, still one of your best friends today.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, I think over the next 3 years, yeah, we kind of lived like in and out of your parents' house and my parents' house because I was still finishing my degree. I did a BA in pre-speech and language pathology, and yeah, again, like I said, I think the next 3 years, like I really attribute myself changing a lot for those first 3 years that we were dating because I saw this whole other world, and yeah, I got to know your friends, and yeah, it was good. And then we met some of our like mutual best friends, like that's when I met Sarah and Rachel and Megan, and yeah. So yeah, those 3 years kind of that we were together and I was finishing off my undergrad, I think was like, our strongest building in our relationship and kind of growing up, right? We were like babies at the time, 20. So I graduated in the summer of 2026. And I think even before,
2006.
What did I say?
2026.
Oh yeah, 2026. Next year. It's going to be amazing. Maybe I'll graduate something else. Different program. Anyway, yeah, so summer of 2006, I graduated. And I think even like before, now looking back, I mean, it's easier to look back and forward to explain something like this. But I think even in 2006, I was like, I don't want to do this. We hadn't even got into like the clinical part of our degree. Really, your undergrad for pre-speech pathology and linguistics anyways was a lot of theoretical. We did a lot of like, breaking down of languages. I really loved all the stuff that was like the child psychology and child development. And that, still to this day serves me so well to be able to relate to parents and give them like meaningful milestones and developmental markers for their kids that I'm serving a huge community and population of kids. So I think it wasn't, I never want to say, your education was a wash, but I think already by graduation time, I had started just feeling as though I wasn't necessarily what I wanted to do as a career. Especially not the theoretical. I wanted more like hands-on. I wanted more time with the kids. I wanted more community building instead of it being so like therapy based, one-on-one. I really didn't appreciate even the way that the speech therapy was like being given. And then, you add on like insurance, how people get funding for it, how you get like, how you get access to services like this, like seeing how kids get services and working hand in hand with the Children's Center. I think I already in 2006 was kind of like, I don't think this is a great idea for me. So instead of going to my master's degree, which all of my peers were doing and all my school friends were doing, I decided I was going to go run away from my situation and my decision and go teach English in Korea for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that obviously put stress on our relationship.
Yeah.
We had a lot of like I do remember us like, keeping communication. We did talk. Yeah.
It was still a young relationship.
Yeah, and what was the like I look back now, I'm like, why didn't we just FaceTime every single day?
No, we didn't even have that. Like
No.
cell phones weren't what they were.
Right.
They were still kind of the ones that like slid sideways and you
Flipped
had the
up.
keyboard on it or
Right.
Blackberries
Yeah,
and stuff
the
like
screens were like 3x3 inch
that. Yeah.
or 2x2 inches.
You had text messaging, maybe pictures.
Yeah. They were not great pictures.
No.
No. And I think maybe we had Skype, but there was no video. It was always just like chatting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like we
Skype
used
on a
Skype
computer.
as like a way to talk, but we didn't have like a picture, right?
Yeah.
There wasn't video with it. It was just, it was
Yeah.
like a phone, like an internet phone. It was probably the first like VoIP, VoIP
Yeah.
is like a voiceover
You had
internet
to have a
product.
microphone hooked up into your computer.
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a plug-in microphone and a
Yeah.
headset. Yeah. It was like I was playing Call of Duty, just calling my boyfriend. So yeah, I think we did, on and off keep in contact, but it obviously is, long distance, and I was gone for almost 2 years. Which, yeah, I would never, knock that experience. I think, we weren't together, but I did a lot of like learning about myself during that time.
For sure. And it was a very, long and involved travel experience, which probably got you like, it sparked your interest in traveling.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. And I think I'm just still clinging to that idea. And we talk about this, and we're going to get even more into it as we come up to present day, but like that's still so like such an obsession of mine in my brain, is just to like be able to travel long enough. Like I'm like, I want to go there, but I want to be able to go there for a month. I want to go there, but I want to go there for like the whole summer. I really liked that like super intensive traveling experience where you got to like make friends and make plans and see someone, all the way through a year, and make, like celebrate Christmas with them and see how they celebrated their birthday, and be invited into people's homes, right? Because right away I had a friend group because I had a staff. I was working in a school, so right away I was like given a co-teacher, and she like became my best friend. And so my first placement in Korea was in Taebaek. It was a tiny little mountain town. I actually went into we did like a week in Seoul, which is like the capital of South Korea. And we did like a week, orientation week, it was called. And they had these interviews with us, and they would sat us down and kind of said like, where do you want to go? Like, what are you looking for in this experience? And I literally was just like, I don't care. Like, put me in wherever you think I'm going to be useful. I learned from that experience to never say that, because that in their mind was like, oh, this girl doesn't care. We're going to put her in the place that no one else wants to go. So it was actually an all boys middle school. So middle school for them is like, we used to have this here, right? We used to have middle school here.
Maybe.
Didn't you go to middle school?
I don't think so.
Didn't you go to like a grade 6 and 7 or a 7, 8?
No, because I did French immersion.
Okay.
So that was grade 5 to 8.
We did have that here though, right? We had like grade 7 and 8, schools that were like grade 6, 7, and 8.
Maybe.
I thought it was in our time that we used to have that. But anyways, yeah. So now here it's all 1 to 8, and lots of places in Korea it was too. But no, this particular town was an all boys middle school. I won't get into all the details of all the things that I think were difficult for me to understand. Most of it was what's a polite way to say it? Misogynistic.
Yeah, probably.
There was so much still like gender inequality between men and women that I think, it had turned polite. It wasn't, abusive or anything, but there was definitely a hierarchy. The women were under the men and were expected to kind of bow down to the men and listen to whatever they said. Didn't matter like how ridiculous their requests were. So that was really hard, because obviously progressively in Canada, when I went to Korea, like it wasn't like that. And then the other thing is they're still using physical discipline. I mean, again, so, take it as a grain of salt. I always mix this cliche. Yeah. So in 2006, I mean, that's almost 20 years ago now.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe it's changed.
Hopefully. I really hope so. Because, yeah, I'm talking like kids still getting like the strap and the stick and stuff. So, yeah, I was there a whole year, against... in my mind, my better judgment of lots of days being like, now I gotta get out of here.
I bet you those kids listened, though.
And they were all boys. Yeah. I don't know. I kind of was asking, I remember asking my co-teacher and saying like, is this a punishment for these boys? Like, are they being Are they being ostracized or isolated? But I think no. I think this was just like it was wasn't a co-ed school. It was like boys' school, girls' school.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't think they listened that well. No.
Oh, okay.
And also, just I'm gonna leave this here, and you guys can use your imagination. The boys were the janitors. So imagine 10, 11, and 12-year-olds were taking care of the custodial duties at your school. Imagine what the bathrooms looked like. Imagine what the hallways looked like. It was disgusting. So yeah, it was a really crazy, crazy experience, but the friends I made that were awesome. And then the second town I moved to, I think this is where I really had like my eyes and ears and my whole like intelligence was changed. I worked in Kongnung. It was like a town about 45 minutes north of the first town I worked at. It was right on the water, which is amazing. And I kind of had a hand in opening a learning institute there. It was a very hands-on learning called the Gelk Center. And the Gelk Center was like just integrative learning. So the kids were basically like brought into these like fake supermarket, fake airport, fake office space, and being given the opportunity to language learn in this environment. And I think it just opened up my mind because I had come off of my speech pathology degree or my BA, and I was thinking like, this is how language learning is supposed to work. Like this is working for an ESL population, but imagine this working for disordered speech. Why aren't we doing speech pathology that's like integrative and hands-on? Why are we sitting at a desk and saying, you know, and not, again, nothing against the speech pathology profession, but I think it really made me realize that this could be like a really amazing way for kids. And then I obviously, you know, it's not just the language. It was, you know, it was more of the social, and it was community, and it was learning in place, right? Instead of having kids at desks, we have kids in like very integrative environments. And I would even say that a lot of like the teaching professions have already taken this into their classrooms, right? They'll have little like centers or kiosks or more visual aids for kids, and they're working against resources too. But I was really, let's just put it this way, I'm not trying to offend anyone. I was inspired by this, by seeing this type of education work. And then I think, yeah, I brought it home and really was able to kind of merge the two together with my dancing and being like, oh, this is the kind of classroom that I want to, you know, create for my kids. And I want it to be really integrative. And I think it was a lot. It really spearheaded my my primary program in my dance studio now, with lots of resources, lots of props, very tangible language development. So yeah, that was my Korea experience. It was great.
Cool.
But yeah, I think you hit it on the head, that it like just started the whole traveling and just being obsessed with traveling, and teaching and community building and language learning.
Well, yeah. So I guess in that period too, I ended up getting a traveling job as well. So after I worked with GATA, I took a commercial construction apprenticeship, and at the time I didn't even know what I was signing up for.
Yeah, I remember you calling me and being like, I'm going to be an iron worker. I'm like, what is that?
And then I ended up, I became an iron worker, and the apprenticeship led to a position in the company. And I did that for the next 8 years. So I was traveling all over Canada. I traveled to the Bahamas once to build a building, and traveling there was actually really cool. And I wish I'd gotten to go for the whole duration of the job.
How long was it?
That would have been about like 2 or 3 months.
Ooh, yeah,
that would have been amazing.
How long were you there?
I was only there for a week just to kind of wrap up the end of the job, but it was
party time.
Yeah, kind of. We still had work to do.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
Yeah, it was great. But yeah, ironworking was a very tough job, and it was, so we're walking on steel high in the air and in the freezing cold. We were working a lot in like we call it the oil patch in Canada, so northern Alberta, northern Saskatchewan, and yeah, we were building industrial buildings, so it would be like -40 for 3 weeks solid while you're there, and we're outside every day, like walking on top of the building in this insane climate.
So nuts.
And yeah, so like talk about
your
being,
skin would just get stuck to it. I guess
Yeah,
you had
like,
no skin showing.
we would wake up and turn the weather channel on, and it would be like a red screen that says "Don't go outside." And
You're like, well,
and we're like, oh,
put your boots on,
we're out
guys.
for 12 hours again. So
That's awful.
so yeah, that again, ironworking really kind of calmed me down and desensitized me, where like the rental stuff with Gata really kind of, you know, showed me how the world could be. Well, ironworking was another crazy thing. Like I always kind of like it, you know, you don't want to relate it. Like I used to say it was like a war almost, because it was very intense and
Yeah,
like
I couldn't
very
imagine that
crazy
feeling
conditions.
of being scared for 8 hours.
Obviously, nobody
like,
was trying to kill us, and like, you know, there's safety regulations and things that
you were hooked
they're
up
trying to keep you all
harnesses.
alive. But it was still a very intense thing to go through, and there's crazy scenarios that came up. So I kind of ended up with this attitude that was like if nothing's like actually on fire, then don't act like something's on fire, right? So, and it made me so much more of a calm person. Even I feel like I already was before.
Yep.
But now when you're up there and you're like, you know, you could die at any second, you could get hit by something or fall or anything, right? There's so many things that can happen when you're not in that environment and you're just on the ground and living your life. There's so much less not
a lot of risk involved.
So much less risk. Yeah,
and we talk about this a lot because I think, like, in my mind, I think us talking about it in our marriage can actually, you know, it can wash off on me because I'm the opposite. It's always on fire.
Yes.
Unless I'm on vacation, which finally puts the fire out. If I'm traveling for some reason, I'm in a really good mood because I think I've removed myself. But like, yeah, just being in the house and being in the business or with the kids, like in my mind, it's always a fire because I always should be doing something else. I should be doing something more and I'm not. So then I like bring that fire onto myself, right? So yeah, we have a lot of talks about this, and in my head, I think, you know, I'll just keep talking about it and eventually, it'll wash your calmness will wash off on me.
Yeah.
I mean, you do.
And it's experience too, because you
are able to usually talk me off a cliff.
You have to do it. You have to go up there and walk on that building and then come down and then be like, see, I didn't die. It was totally fine. I can, you know, and then do it again and again and again. And then you realize
I should, like,
that
start
there's nothing to worry
skydiving
about.
and then maybe I'll be more chill?
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe.
I should actually get some real problems in my life so I actually know what problems look like.
Yeah.
I'm not going to ask for problems.
Yeah.
Maybe I should do those like Fear Factor? Maybe I should do some Fear Factor. I bet you there's therapies that are like that. Like if you're over dramatic, you need to like get some fear therapy.
I would think so. They actually, I saw for people that are scared of heights, they do a thing with VR goggles and they make you walk on like a 2x4 that's just laying on the ground.
Yeah.
And when you look down, it looks like you're on like a steel beam that's high above the air.
Oh,
and so
gosh.
people with heights fear like will just lose it at first, but then get used to it because they can do it slowly and whatever. So,
we were talking about doing this as a podcast, but we ended up scrapping it because we had stuff going on. But we just recently went to Great Wolf Lodge.
Oh, yeah.
And actually, we had a little bit in Mexico, too. I don't know. This has been like the month of water slides for us.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. But both of those, I think, like it was crazy. I had a little backstory. But like, I don't know, you're on vacation usually. And I got the same thing when we were scuba diving in Costa Rica, right? I had that like full-blown panic attack.
Yeah.
And I mean, when I was on the water slides, especially at Great Wolf Lodge, I did have this like panic moment where it was like, you know, it's coming down the water slide and you know what's coming, like it's going down so that it's going up so you can go back down kind of thing. It was like just about the drop, and I think I did it the first time, and like so I knew what it felt like. And so the second time I knew it was coming, and I started like panicking. Like I was panicking at the top of the ride because I was like panicking about the feeling I was gonna feel. Right? So yeah, I mean, fear is just such a crazy, and yeah, a lot of people do say that like panic mode is like coming out of fear of like, you know, fear that you're gonna disappoint someone, or fear that, you know, and I know you're saying, you know, there's no fire actually happening, but
But then that's the thing. That's what you learn with experience is the fear was an unnecessary emotion. You got
you're still getting the job done.
Reason.
You're going to do it. You're going to make it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised as I get older that the panic mode is not getting better. It's getting worse.
I would think you've calmed down some. For sure. Yeah, I think it's getting better.
Huh. Oh, good. You know what? Maybe you just can't see it from the inside. Like, you have to see it from the outside, right? Maybe it takes, like, your partner who's around you to be like, nah, you're a lot, like, less high strung than you are. I think I'm just tired.
Maybe.
I'm too tired to be panicked.
But yeah, so another thing that happened after I started ironworking was my parents moved away. They moved up to Iroquois Falls.
Shout out to Timmins.
Yeah. So when they moved, they offered me like, hey, like, you know, you're working a job now. Do you want to buy our house? So it wasn't really in the cards for me at the time, but I was like, well, yeah, you know, this is
Niagara Falls anyways.
I kind of just thought this is what you do. You know, you get a job, you buy a house. So sure, why not?
Yeah.
So I remember I went to the bank, and ironworking as much as it was risky, it was rewarding. So the pay was good. Mm-hmm. And yeah, the guy at the bank, like when I went to get like my pre-approval, he was like, oh, you make more than I do. So I was like, oh, wow. So
yeah, I've been to some financial advisors that are like, I think I should take financial advice from you. I'm like, ha ha.
Yeah.
Those are great moments.
Yeah, totally.
Especially when you're with a banker.
So
you're like, this guy should know, you know? And he's like, no.
Yeah.
Like, you teach me.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, pull up a seat. I guess I should cancel the meeting.
So yeah, so I was 20 years old, and I got approved, and I bought my parents' house.
Yeah.
And so naturally, when you're 20 years old and you own your own house, you do what 20-year-olds who own their own house do.
Party your head off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Leave it to your girlfriend while you go out and work in Fort McMurray, and she throws parties.
Yeah. We had a crazy rental situation. So I had like between 3 and 5 of my friends living there, like at the time, just renting the bedrooms.
Yeah.
And very reasonably, I might add.
Yeah, I think it was $250 or $300
a room. Yeah. So
yeah, it was rent per room.
I was not making any money renting at all, but I was just happy to have people around.
Come on, and 5 friends at $300 a pop. You're making $800 a month.
When there was 5, yeah, I was doing okay.
Yeah.
But you never were paying me.
Right. I was the landlord. I was the property manager. That was probably my first Airbnb, actually.
Yeah.
I was saying the other day that I got it with my little house, but yeah, it's probably 3rd Ave or 6th Ave.
But yeah, when I think back, like we had a really good group of people, and like nothing really got too out of hand.
Well, yeah, those are still our best friends today. Like all those people that were hanging out at 6th Ave. And I still meet people on the street and they'll be like, remember 6th Ave? I'm like, yep.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember you from 6th Ave.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, the worst thing that happened was probably just noise for the neighbors that they had to deal with. Uh-huh. And we grew up in that house, so everybody knew me and knew who I was. And,
yeah. We got the cops called a few times.
Yeah, the police
got
came,
some noise
and
violations.
Sure, fair enough. And then we would, quiet it down after that. But
also, yeah, I was thinking of this, and I feel like there was a couple times that we were trying to like hide some people because they were underage.
No.
We had a couple friends that were like so close to our age. We were like 20 and they were 17 or 18, you know?
Yeah, whatever. We did our best. The house got full sometimes, but
the house got packed sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, at the same time, I was always kind of learning instruments when I was younger, but I had I had your brother Brent and my buddy Jordy.
Yep.
And we
shout out to Jordan
kind of
McCord.
We started our own little instrumental rock band.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of fun. Kind of experimental music. It was it was a really good time.
That was definitely our like most musical time in our life.
But again, it was funny.
We were jamming every week.
I would hear from the neighbors. They'd be like, "Oh, those songs are starting to sound good."
Yeah,
and I'd be like, "Sorry."
Yeah. Took a while, but they're sounding good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys had like an album, did a couple shows.
Yeah. We only played 2 shows. The first show was really fun, but
Yep.
yeah, actually, I know. I was thinking about just putting that music out somewhere. I have some
Amanda
of it
was
recorded,
saying
so I
that.
might as well just throw it out.
Yeah, we had Amanda Lynn on here, and yeah, she was like, just put your music out.
Yeah.
She's great. We're going to see her this weekend
Mm-hmm.
at our friend Brandon's house. We're going to try to get Brandon on the podcast, too. I'm going to try to book him.
Sure.
Anyway, yeah, so I came home from Asia. You owned
Oh,
6
wait, I forgot that.
What?
Yeah, we called the band Along the Way.
Oh, yeah.
So, which I thought, well, I still really like the name.
Yeah, me too. I always will end up saying it in a sentence by accident.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, we bought this along the way, or oh yeah, we started doing this along the way. Oh, we started making sushi along the way.
It really is about the journey.
It really is about the journey. Definitely. So yeah, so I came home and kind of moved into your house for free. I was living rent free in your house.
Yeah.
Sorry, bud. I made up for it. I made some dinners and I don't know. I don't know if I did. I also just kept the party going when you were away.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good
I made
having
sure
a manager.
Yeah, property manager, exactly. Yeah, and then I came home. Yeah, I definitely remember feeling like, I don't know, I said fish out of water, but I think I don't know. I just didn't know who I was when I came home. I think I had been away in Korea for a couple of years, so I kind of had this I don't know what to call it except for superiority complex. I felt like I had traveled so much and I had all this experience and I really struggled to socialize. So I kind of took that summer off. I moved to Guelph and then I came home and I started my master's degree at the University of Buffalo. And I think that was the time also that you were kind of in the thick of it. You were doing the most ironworking.
Yeah.
And really, I mean, we had been together, but I was in Korea and you were traveling too. So yeah.
Yeah. No,
it was just a rough time on us. And there was so much, work. I was doing so much work with my degree and yeah, so it wasn't a great time for us, but yeah, I think, then I opened the dance studio. I opened Infinite Motion because I think I realized after working on my master's that I, again, like I said, I kind of knew it before when I was working on my BA, and then it really came to fruition once I had traveled and came home that I was really interested in starting a community and starting Infinite Motion. So I did, and then I think just the pressures of starting the business and you traveling all the time. Every good love story has its hiatus.
Yeah.
Its breakup song.
Yep.
So yeah, we took a break. I think, when did we actually break up? 2013, 2012?
Probably 2012.
Yeah, 2012. Because then you still had 6th Ave for a year after, right?
Yep.
And then you...
Yeah. Yeah, I sold 6th Ave in 2013. Bought it in 2006, I think.
Okay.
And then, yeah, so ironworking was, it was kind of rough on my body. I started getting back pain and things like that after 8 years. And
yeah.
And it took a toll on our relationship as well. I could be gone anywhere from 3 weeks to 3 months. And
yeah.
I think the one job I remember, I drove out to northern Alberta in the company trucks, did the entire build start to finish, and then drove home, and I think it was over 3 months. So that's a long time to be away.
You came home, we broke up.
Yeah. No, yeah. And yeah, so after that I was ready for a change, and I moved up north, 8-hour drive to good old Iroquois Falls.
Timmins.
Yeah, where my parents were. And then I ended up buying a house in Monteith, which was it was an old church, and it needed some work, so it was kind of my training grounds for home renovations. And basically we did Well, yeah, we did everything in that whole house. It needed all new electrical, all new plumbing, and then everything else that comes with it. All the finishing touches and things. I found out that I liked doing the finished carpentry aspect of it.
Yeah, you were doing all your own like milled wood and stuff. I think that was the first time you like milled wood and stained it yourself and did custom trim.
And I was just looking to save money, so I was like, if I just buy this flat pine, it's cheaper than buying the actual baseboards. And I wanted everything to be wood, so
it was beautiful.
So,
I mean, it still is. We this is my brother's house now.
Yep.
So we still get to go here all the time, which is amazing.
And yeah, I was lucky to have my dad close by, so he could kind of guide me along the process. And he was a jack of all trades that kind of learned everything and all about home ownership and construction and renovation and things like that.
Yep.
So yeah, I worked at a paper mill there that ended up closing down as most paper mills did in kind of that period of time. When people switched from newsprint to the internet as things were progressing along the road of our society.
Yep.
And
got rid of paper.
So then when that closed, I worked at a gold mine, and I just met an awesome group of guys who worked there, which I really didn't expect, but they're still our friends today.
Yeah. So yeah, most of our best friends, are still in Timmins,
And living up north was really healing for me. I loved the outdoors. I loved snowmobiling. I loved the cold winters, and the summers were beautiful too. They just weren't as hot as they were down south, which I appreciated.
Yeah.
And
but you could go for some hot winter or hot summer now.
Yes.
I've had enough.
Yeah, winter's cold, but there's a lot of things to appreciate about the winter.
Yeah, for sure.
No bugs, no sweating.
Yep.
There's a lot of goods that
Skating.
you take for granted, and all the obviously the hobbies.
Yeah,
I love
know. We wish we
snowmobiling.
had our snowmobile down here right now. Maybe it is worth it to drag it down here because we need to get it fixed.
I know this year we could have used it.
Yeah, our parents have had a frozen creek behind their backyard for like 6 weeks now.
Yep,
it's been amazing.
But yeah, and then I started creating art while I was up there. I was like randomly just watching YouTube videos at night, and I watched something about sacred geometry, and they were just like, "Oh, just try it," and I was like, Okay, I'll try it.
I got a ruler and a pencil.
Yeah. So I tried it, and I did a drawing, and then I just did another one, and I did another one, and I did another one, and I just kept doing it, and I guess I haven't stopped since. So it was it was great to have the time up there, and I really I took it for granted then, and now I'm sure you hear about it enough all the time, but yeah, I just wish I had that time that I could put aside to just draw and draw and draw. So I got a lot done in 2016 and 2015 when I first started out. So I did probably hundreds of individual drawings at that time, but now I'll maybe finish 1 to 2 things a year if I'm lucky. Sometimes more, but.
Yeah, I mean, we always talked about this, especially when the kids were like really little. We're like, we'll get time back again, once we're not in the throes of parenthood, and we are.
Yep.
You're getting more time now and starting to create some stuff.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah. Check out your Instagram. What is it?
Yeah, for sure.
Kaleidoscope
Designs, JA on Instagram.
Kaleidoscope Designs, JA.
Yeah.
Yeah. We can put the link in the bottom of the podcast too.
Yeah, definitely. We should.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So while Jake was doing that, I was, running Infinite Motion. I always joke to people that and I still do this now because now I have 2 beautiful actual children, but I always say that Infinite Motion was my first baby. And yeah, as you are when you're a really young mother, I was a train wreck single mother with my first baby for the first, I would say, 10 years. So I think, now I'm much more intact, and just similar to this scenario with your family. You have a second baby and you're a lot more relaxed and you're more laid back, but you also are making better choices, let's say. So yeah, I mean, my first first kick at the can with Infinite Motion was hard, and now I'm telling everyone that I'm working with growth coaches that I'm taking my first child to therapy because I was such a train wreck mother at the beginning. But yeah, I mean, I can't knock any of the times in my life, but yeah, I definitely think it was a rough go. It was a rough go during that time that we broke up. I can't say that I had as self growth process that maybe you did. But yeah, I also had bought my first house, which is like a tiny house downtown Niagara Falls. And I think that's really where I like started. I mean, we weren't back together yet. I think we were still, because my brother lived with you. So like, it's not like we ever had a time period in our life where we were not in contact with each other. But I definitely at that point started to really see the benefit in real estate and see like what it could bring to people and some of the opportunities for real estate. And I think really if we look at the timeline, this was what, 2016 to 2020. Does that sound right? 2016 to 2020? No, because Annabelle was born in there.
Yeah.
No.
Annabelle was born in 2016.
So this is 2013 to 2016.
Yes.
Was the time that I had like bought in Third Ave, and like just to see the growth in the real estate market during that time. Because you sold Monteith in 2013, and you sold 6th Ave, our house in Niagara Falls, in 2013. And I remember by 2014 thinking like, you really should have held out one more year. And now what do you think you'd sell that house for?
Doesn't even matter.
I know, but just to, give listeners like a...
whatever.
Wrap your head around.
I sold it for $140, and now
just to rub it in.
You'd probably be paying like $650 now.
Exactly.
I would guess, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I really could kind of see the potential in real estate at this point. And so yeah, then I bought my first house, and I was running Infinite Motion. And
I bought my house just because I thought that was
what that was what you do. No.
You buy a house and you live in it, right? So the real estate opportunities kind of happened later as we progressed.
Yeah, I was always super motivated by.
Well, we knew some people
money.
too that were
I've always been really progressively financially motivated, but I think it's. I don't know. I obviously have to question this for myself to make sure that I'm not just, some workaholic crazy lady. But no, I think if you are an entrepreneur and you're always thinking, you can't stop your brain because your brain's always thinking about ways to make money. I think there's this side part that kind of tells you that like, if you can accelerate your money making period, then you can stop sooner. There is that part of our brain that tells us, like, if all of a sudden you won $1 million tomorrow, 90% of the people say I would quit my job.
Yeah.
Right. So we are always like running that wheel. So I think real estate to me kind of looked like that. It looked like something that could get you out of the cycle where you could be making money and not be working, just passively. If you have to like hire someone to go fix something or whatever.
Yep.
So yeah, that was my motivation with real estate, and then I turned 30. And yeah, 30 I think was like a big, like, the way 40 just washed over me, 30 just punched me in the face. Like 30 was like
I'm turning 30.
I'm turning 30. Yeah, in the words of Bo Burnham. Yeah, and I think 30 to me was like kind of my midlife crisis. I hope I'm not going to die at 60, but maybe, who knows. But at 30, yeah, I think most women will tell you that like your biological clock starts ticking and you start to feel like, I want to have a family. If you do want to have a family, not that you do, but you have to. But if you are thinking about having a family, usually 30 is the age where you're like, okay, I got to start thinking about this. So yeah, I turned 30.
Yeah.
Decided to ring up my good buddy Jake Ackerman. Was it like maybe you can like fill in the blanks, but I feel like it was like a business meeting. Like I showed up with my briefcase and my lab coat and my glasses, and I was like, here's the contract.
I don't know. I think the briefcase was full of glow sticks.
Totally. Yeah. Briefcase full of glow sticks. bright, probably like star-shaped sunglasses, and I was like, "You want to be my wife?" Yeah, I think it was definitely like a sales pitch.
Yeah, so I planned a birthday party for myself when I was up north, and because of the 8-hour drive, I was like, well, I don't really expect, any of my friends to come, and I just met like my friends up there, and then it happened, and you came with a bunch of people from down south, and Jordy came with his friends.
We say the first Jake Stock was just me, Brent, me and my brother, and
That's
our best
true.
friend
we
Sarah.
did it the year before.
It was just the four of us.
Yeah.
But then this was like the first proper Jake Stock. It was 2015, so it's 10 years old this year.
Yeah.
Did we celebrate it last year?
Was it 10 years? We may have missed one.
Oh, we did miss one because we went to Osheaga.
Oh, okay. I think we missed one during COVID stuff.
We ran one during COVID. I have all the pictures to prove it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we kept it going during COVID. We just, it was only 10 people here. It was fine.
Yep.
But yeah, I packed up my group of best friends in the car. It was still my best friends to today is Sarah and Hillary. And I think Meg was with us and maybe Kaylee. Yeah,
no,
Kaylee.
not Meg. Kaylee. Oh, yeah. Meg.
Yeah. Meg Alicu?
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, I packed up a car full of my best friends and made up my way up there for a communal visit.
Yep.
All the import brides to visit Jacob and his local Iroquois Falls friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, we say it jokingly, but yeah, still to this day, Sarah and Hillary ended up meeting Jacob's friends Carson and Riley, and they ended up getting married, and yeah, Hillary just had their first baby. So yeah, it was really we joke about it, but it really was it was the love connection, the newlywed game in Iroquois Falls.
Yeah.
Jake Stock 2015. It was great.
Yeah, brought some imports.
Yeah. That was what, July?
Yeah, I think that was July.
Yeah. And
it was supposed to be my birthday.
It was your birthday?
Yeah.
Yeah. It might have been June.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. By the end of the trip, I was pregnant.
Probably.
No, definitely. Because 3 or 4 weeks later, I went to California and found out I was pregnant.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was our kind of meeting story and how our family started. And yeah, what does this say? We had an anniversary party. Oh, this is my joke. I'm reading back my own notes on the podcast. I was thinking to myself, if we have an anniversary party, I'm just going to get an AI robot to like say this podcast,
Sure.
to read this podcast. I guess we already did it. We can just play it back. I got the recording. I'll just go on stage and put the Spotify playlist on and be like, oh, here's my speech. It's a whole hour of our meeting story.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it is. It's our 20-year anniversary this year.
Crazy.
Great. Awesome. So yeah, I think that's probably a good time for a break. It's getting knocked up. Time for a break.
Yeah, totally.
We'll be back. So yeah, today we are just talking all about our love story and our family story and kind of what we have gone through our meeting and then to present day. So when we left off, I just found out I was pregnant, and you were still living up north.
I was.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you came down a few times during my pregnancy.
Yep. Oh, for sure.
Not many.
Yeah, I was.
You were still working.
I was working, but I was working. I had a 7 on, 7 off schedule, which is still my favorite working schedule I've ever had.
Yeah.
Yeah, 7 12-hour days straight, and then an entire week off.
Sounds
awful. So that was my favorite. But because I had the week, I was able to come down. Well, any week that I wanted, basically.
You lived 8 hours away.
I know, it's still a far drive, but
I think you came down 3 times while I was pregnant.
No, it was more than that.
Yeah, I mean, again, when I showed up with the briefcase, the discussion was, do you want to just be a part-time employee?
No, we knew it was going to happen.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Maybe you did.
Yeah.
I had to be content with the fact that, like, you loved where you lived.
Yeah, I did.
And, didn't necessarily want to have to, like, come back to Niagara Falls.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was a touch and go. And then I think you ended up moving back down, like, the week that or the day I went into labor. I don't know. Like, I remember it being, like, a short week.
It was,
maybe February, end of February?
No. The end of the year happened, and then the mine made some changes. So I was ready to take like a paternity leave so I could get everything sorted and move down and stuff like that. And then January came, they did some switchovers. They got somebody new in the geology department, and they basically went over the numbers, and I was making more money because I did the night shift. And they're basically like, oh, why is this guy making more money doing the same job? So they laid us off. So I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. So
do I get a severance?
I was laid off that January, and then came down to Niagara.
Cool. So yeah, I feel like my life totally changed the day I became a mom, for sure. Like I said, I was much more stable by the time that I had Annabelle. And then, I don't know, like any mom will attest to this, but like you all of a sudden you're living for someone else, right? Like all the things that I was doing in my life that was just for me, and it was selfish and really, I mean, hurtful to myself and hurtful to the people around me. I didn't have a great, in my 20s, as I was having all this fun and partying, I was probably not, nurturing my relationships and my friendships the way that I could have. But having kids kind of changes that in you, right? You start living for your family, and you start realizing how important other people are, and how important it is to nurture those relationships and take care of them. So any parent would tell you, being part of a family is really difficult, but it's so rewarding. It's a great experience.
Yeah.
So
and it's funny too, having one child is much different than having two. I even think it's funny, like I feel like I wasn't really like a dad until I had 2 kids. Ooh. It doesn't really make sense, but
my mom always says that. She's like, 1's like none and 2's like 10.
Yeah.
Ask your mom, how is 5?
Oh, exactly. But I got to see that too.
Yeah. What a family of 5 look like.
I was the oldest of 5 boys. I was, when Cameron was a baby, I was 10 years old. So I ended up with some responsibilities from that as well.
Yeah, I definitely remember that quote. Like, I was pregnant, like 8 or 9 months pregnant, and I was, having a panic attack about, the nursery's not ready or something ridiculous. And I remember just looking at you and screaming, like, are you ready? Have you ever changed a diaper? And you looked back at me and you're like, yes, a million. Have you? And I was like, oh my gosh, I don't think I have. So you're right. You know what? Going back, thinking about like when Annabelle was a baby, and then when Phoenix was a baby, I was like a disaster. Like I just couldn't wrap my head around the fact that like there was not enough for me to go around. Yeah. And when you are a type A personality and you like things to be done a certain way, and you have to kind of let go of those expectations, it makes it really hard. So yeah, after that, we proceeded to just, start collecting houses, children, and travels.
Yeah.
Since then, I feel like it hasn't been any crazy stories or crazy jobs or crazy whatever. Well, I mean, stuff has happened, but, not our doing. It's been things that happened to us.
Yeah, sure. I guess. Well, I thought moving into this house was a crazy step. Like, yeah, once I moved back, we really got the real estate thing in our heads and started trying to see what we could do with it.
Yeah, because I really wanted to do it, but I didn't have any skills, and I was like, oh,
yeah,
this guy knows how to build houses.
Yeah. So yeah, we bought a house, and we ended up it was gonna be like a long-term plan, and we were gonna flip it in 5 years. And
which
then
house?
Third Ave, the second Ave.
Oh, the second one. Yeah. So we were talking about this with Pietro last week too. We kept our my first house. Yeah. And we bought our second house. And our plan was like a 5-year flip or something. We bought a fixer-upper.
Yep.
But it was big, way bigger than our first house.
Well, that's right. And we rented the little one for a bit, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that only a year?
Well, it was very short because we were only in that house for 8 months.
8 months.
So the flip went from this slow 5-year plan to this shotgun, we need this done now.
Yeah.
And I'd come back, I'd started working in finished carpentry, and so I was doing that all day and then coming home and then working all night. And I think I have some videos somewhere too, but Annabelle just saw her dad as this guy just, tearing her house apart and then putting it back together all the time. So there was, I have pictures of her just holding a drywall trowel and just rubbing it on the wall because she's like, well, that's what humans do. I'm 1 year old and this is what your dad does.
Or flooring. Right? That was her favorite thing to do. Just carry pieces of flooring all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know, there was definitely some mom guilt during that time period that I was just like, oh my gosh, we're not raising this child. Thank God we had my mom who, really raised her for those first 8 months. So I think it was, I don't know the exact time period or year, but we were renting the studio up until that point was at a rental.
Yeah.
And we got it in our head that we were going to do real estate, and then it just made sense that we were like, oh my gosh, why are we paying this astronomical rent payment for a commercial building? We should buy one.
Yeah, and then that's what I was going to say. This was a crazy opportunity when this came up, and I just didn't even think it was going to happen. The price seemed so out of range, where now if you look back, it was cheaper than your average family home.
Yeah, we bought this place for $500, right?
Somewhere around there, yeah.
Yeah. So to if you look, I mean, just to give you perspective, I don't know where our listeners are all from. If they're local, then they'll know this. But you can't buy a piece of land for $500,000 anymore in Niagara Falls.
Yeah, you could buy a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, a lot for between $300,000 and $500,000.
Yep.
Yeah. Actually, that's not true. Now I have seen a couple of houses in Niagara that were $300,000 or $400,000.
Really?
Uh-huh.
I haven't.
No?
I just saw some cheap townhouses for $499.
Right. Oh yeah, you were saying you were looking at
trailers,
right? Trailer park trailers
in a trailer park for $500. It's a double wide. It's
Oh, luxury trailer.
Yeah.
Wow. So I think at the time we really were just like, oh, this is our chance, and it was a house and a studio built in one, and it turned out to be a great opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah, and it worked out, and we've been here
5 years?
No, it's more than that now.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we'd have to know the year we bought it.
Yeah, well, I only know this because we just renewed our mortgage last year. So 6 years, almost 6 years in May.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow, we're almost in May. So really almost 6 years. It's 6 months short of 6 years. And it's been great ever since. And then we ended up buying Maple. I don't know what all the timeline looks like, actually. I forget.
Yeah.
As soon as you have kids, you just, forget about everything else. It just gets washed over.
Yeah. Yeah. All kinds of things happened. We had fires, floods, and,
oh gosh,
children, and
yeah.
Busy. For sure.
Busy. But so, Yeah, no, and then we got our other rent. Yeah, so yeah, we're busy. But yeah, I think it's now we really are, I think now that the kids are getting a little bit older, we are focusing more on that artistic part and just how important that is to us, because yeah, we always, I mean, I hope nobody takes this as being sacrilegious, but we kind of joke that art is our religion. And I think that's why it was so powerful for us to go to the Chapel of Sacred Mirrors and meet with Alex and Allison, which we're going to do again in a couple months. So yeah, I hope that this is a way to like kind of bring all the ideas and all the different, you know, facets of our podcast together so that you guys really have an understanding of how diversified our interests are, and how really important it is for us to be bringing art into our relationship, how we kind of always have. We've always had music as a really special part of our relationship.
Well, that was kind of what I wanted to say too.
Mm-hmm.
Like growing up, when we were, you know, when our relationship was young, and still now, like music was just like such a huge part of it. Like we didn't just have music on, like we were music kids, and we were like going to see concerts was the big event. So like, you know, we were rarely at places unless music was happening
and
there,
we're still like that now,
and we still do that. If we're going out for a night, it's because there's a concert or there's a band in town involved that we want to see.
100%.
And all of our friends, we just, you know, we had the good old iPods, which you had like 160 gigabytes of music.
What
and
do you
that
mean
was
had?
just, well, yeah, we still have
I
them
still
and
have
use
4
them.
of them.
Yeah.
I have some on reservation.
But we just have these iPods just like crammed full of music, and that was how like our friends kind of got along, and that was what we did and talked about. And then we played music and jammed, and so music was always just a huge part of everything.
Yeah. And I don't know if we've like taken any pictures down here, but yeah, even our podcast station is a jam space.
Yeah,
it's a music space.
It's my little recording studio shoved in a corner.
Yeah, and I think it's a big part of how we're trying to raise the kids too, right? Like teaching them how important art is.
For sure.
Music and drawing. Yeah,
and
Annabelle's
learning
getting
music
into
when
drawing.
you're young, it's important.
Yeah, they're both in music lessons. Obviously, we have the dance studio operating out of like the other half of the house. So yeah, we are really surrounded by art, and I think that's why we're trying to keep it as a focus of the podcast. But of course, you know, art doesn't fund itself as usual.
Yeah.
Art has to get funded by real estate and business and nutrition and health and all these other different facets of our business that we also love bringing to you guys, and we love sharing with you guys. So
yeah, and those are the things that really are like the inner working of our marriage, is all these different things that kind of, you know, make our wheels turn and kind of get us going every day.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah,
keep it afloat.
Mm-hmm.
And the hope, I don't know about you, but the hope for me is that we get to retire really young and get to like wholeheartedly focus on art at that point.
Hopefully, yeah. If we can work less, then that would be a win. Yeah,
it's crazy. I mean, I've even had to like kind of wrap my head around it working with the goal coaches, because they're just like, you know, you're gonna be shocked by all the time you have. What are you gonna do with yourself? And we talk about this all the time, because you're just like,
I'll believe it when I see it.
No problem. No, but I was thinking, you're thinking, you know, anytime you have to think about that, you're like, I already know. I know what I'm gonna do for like,
oh yeah,
you know, if I have a 6 weeks straight, I know what I'm gonna do, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it is like, you know, when you do have this many hobbies and you have this many passions and interests, it makes it so it's even more appetizing, right? I'll talk to some people and they're like, oh, I can't wait to retire so I can just sit around and do nothing. And I'm like, what?
What a waste of time.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you don't have anything that you want to accomplish or do if you had all this, you know, a huge amount of time. Because the same person who's telling you if they won $1 million, they'd quit their job, would say to you, like, they don't know what to do with themselves.
Yeah.
So I think it really, it's interesting. And I think, you know, we're hoping that our listeners are going to kind of learn and see alongside us how, you know, one kind of has to pay the bills and the other one's what you do with all your extra time. And, you know, the more you can provide yourself with that white space. We talk about it in our goal coaching, just like giving yourself that time to like think and create and do whatever you're going to do. Right. So
yeah, it's important.
My art is getting more into, what is that? I have to like figure out this word. Allison said it to me, but it was like social creation. It was kind of along that lines. She called it like social fabric, maybe. Because in my head, I was like, I'm so fixated now on like creating these like community environments for people to get together. And there's like this art in socialization and art in like people like talking and doing an activity together, right? It's like social. I thought she said it was like social fabric or social creative. So I'll have to ask her again when we see them in April. But yeah, it was like in my mind, I can see myself kind of going towards this, like with my white space, my creativity, my art is starting to be how I can set up things for the kids. You know, how can I set up a workshop or a camp, or how can I include like this artistic activity with my kids when they're doing this like theme for a dance or something, right? So yeah, there's so many different parts of art that fill our house.
For sure.
In our daily lives.
Yeah, I think the kids they see it around them, and they're really
taken to it.
Have an interest.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, when I just kind of leave them to their own devices, they're always creating. They're building, they're drawing, they're playing music, they're, painting or whatever.
Yeah. So, yeah, even the building, like
the Lego.
There's so much art involved in architecture and design and stuff like that, which can sound like a mundane job to some people, but it really is a very creative, artistic thing. Even just renovating a house and changing layouts and spaces, and
even just a wall, right? Like even to the decisions on like finishing stuff, like it's all artistic.
For sure.
The coaches today, we're doing, so like a big push in our business education right now is finances, which looks like hours and hours of looking at profit and loss charts and statements. And one of them is like a big like numbers girl, and she's just like, if you think about it, it's like it's artistic. And I was like, oh hell no. I'm like, this cannot be in the realm of art.
Well, that was my joke the other day. It's like a chart. It's just art with a chin.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
Ugh, it's awful. It's so boring. I can't handle it. So that's the only thing in my life that I feel like is moving away from the realm of art. But it's helping with business. So
yeah, unfortunately,
everything
we
else
have to learn
I like
those
it
things.
Being creative. Yeah,
and that's same with me. Like I've always just what's the word? Never got my feet wet or whatever with trying to sell art and things like that. Mm-hmm. We've kind of given it a kick at the can every once in a while, but I really I feel like I don't enjoy it, and I'm not motivated to do it as a side thing.
Yeah.
Now, if that was like my business focus and you had the time and there wasn't worry about the startup and all that kind of stuff, it might be a different story. But when it's like, if you're counting on it, it's difficult. So I still have just kept the art as something I do. And unfortunately, not a lot of people get to see it because of that. But,
that's what I said to you. I'm like, it's selfish. You're just keeping it for yourself.
Kind of, I know.
Same thing I was talking about with Amanda.
So I'm trying to put it out there, but as with the internet, it's hard, and
it's time consuming. I know. I'm working on the
time
studio
to get it
all the
out
time
there, and
art,
then to get it to come across people's desks.
Yeah, I think we talk about this a lot again with my goal coaches. Is like there's so much noise, right? Like if you just think of like somebody going on their phone, what's the chances that they're going to see your product, especially in like organic social media?
Oh, for sure.
I mean, I'm doing a lot of like
I don't know why
paid marketing.
My stuff would come up.
Well, yeah, I don't know. People add you and follow you and whatever, but
yeah,
it's a hard go. Like I said, now I'm into like paid advertisement, and that's another whole art is, doing ad copy and doing picture art and stuff. So like doing graphic design. Thank God I have a wonderful graphic designer working with me. She takes a lot of the guesswork out.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully that gave you guys some backstory on us, and hopefully you enjoyed the podcast, hearing about how we kind of came to the family and the artistic marriage that we have today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't forget to follow us on Spotify, and you'll never miss a podcast.
Good night.
Yep. Good night.